everybody, welcome back. Today we are playing superhero roulette. So in each of these bowls I've written down some names of actual superheroes, cartoon characters, like celebrities, that sort of stuff. And in the other bowl I've written down some powers that they might have. Now you haven't seen any of these, so you don't know what's coming, and I read them about 3 days ago, so honestly I don't really remember most of what is on there. So the rules are, we each are going to pick from the two bowls, see what we have, and then those two superheroes are going to go head to head. We have to decide which would be the better superhero in an emergency. What one would be more beneficial to the population. And we're just going to whittle it down and whittle it down. They're going to go head to head until we have a winner. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Pick two. So, okay, I have, it's Ron from Harry Potter, but his wand is still broken and it can only shoot slugs. And his power would be, he has Mary Poppins' magic bag, and that he can produce anything that's needed on cue.
Okay. Mine's is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but only the car, not the people. And it could be invisible, but only for 10 minutes at a time.
Oh, interesting. So, we have Ron, but his wand's broken, so he can't do any magic. He can only shoot slugs at people. But he has Mary Poppins. It could backfire on him as well, which would not be good in an emergency. But he does have Mary Poppins' magic bag, and he can bring anything that's needed. So say somebody was injured, he would be able to just be like, oh, bandage, or there's a plaster or whatever.
Yeah, I think Mary Poppins' bag would be better than invisibility for 10 minutes.
I think so. What about the car? Because that's quite a cool car. I mean, it has, it can fly, it can float. I mean, if there was an emergency where the town flooded,
yeah, it would be really useful.
People could, I mean, you know. So who do you think would be the most beneficial in a situation? The car that's invisible and can also fly and be a boat, or Ron with Mary Poppins' magic bag?
I think maybe...
I think the car.
Because then you could get anywhere you wanted.
Right, okay, Ron, you are out of here, so put that one to the side. Right, let's choose again. Okay, so I have, this time, the cast of Hairspray, but they can only sing their own songs from the movie. They can't speak anything else. They can only sing whatever song they sang. And their superpower is they have Rapunzel's magic hair and can heal anybody who's hurt.
Yours is definitely going to be more beneficial because I have SpongeBob and Patrick who can fly.
Okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory then. So I mean, the cast of Hairspray, I mean, if you're hurt, that might be quite annoying if they're, hey mama, welcome to the 60s. But they're helping you because they can heal anybody. And you're getting a song at the same time. So that, I mean, yeah. Keep them. Goodbye, SpongeBob and Patrick. Okay. Next one. Right, what's your next one?
Batman, but he turns into an actual bat when it's dark. And he has super strength, but can only move in slow-mo.
So, a super strong bat
that can only move
in slow-mo. Okay, I have the Mad Hatter, but instead of tea, he drinks coffee, so he's constantly hyped up for the caffeine.
But more bonkers than bonkers.
And his superpower would be he can time travel, but only to the Ice Age. So, who do you think would
So
be?
a hyper mad hatter who can time travel to the Ice Age and maybe see a wee penguin. Or a bat with super strength who can move in slow mo. I think a bat.
So, if there was an emergency that called for a superhero, who
I
would...
don't think the Mad Hatter's going to be your best.
because he would just be running about. But I mean, if there was...
His watch is exactly 2 days slow.
So it would be on time, for one. I don't know, if it was like a zombie apocalypse, he could transport them all back to the Ice Age. Or
What are they going to have for the Mad Hatters? Just that, eh? Like,
right, okay.
a mammoth or
Batman that's actually a bat and super strength is the winner. Okay. Oh, these are funny. Okay, who's up next? Right, I have Shrek, but in human form.
Okay.
And his superpower is he can only travel by dance moves.
I have Homer Simpson, who can speak any language but only at super speed.
So Shrek the human is busting a move, and Homer Simpson can speak any language. I mean, we've watched them in Spanish. I mean, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but can you imagine Spanish Homer and super speed? I mean, but speaking any language, that's pretty
useful.
good. That's useful because if, you know, there were different people say it was at an airport, there might be like loads of different nationalities of languages there, so I think that's probably more beneficial than Shrek the human dancing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I have the Flash, but he can only move in slow-mo. So he's like the Flash in reverse. And he has magic ice powers.
I have minions, but they speak English and they can mind read.
Oh. Mind reading minions. Who also speak English. So I mean, that would be pretty beneficial.
Yeah, they wouldn't go ba 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 ba.
And they would do whatever he wanted because they're minions. A slow Flash who shoots ice powers. I mean, ice powers could be quite beneficial.
If you're running away from somebody.
And you want them to slip, then yeah, but I think the minions won it. I think that would be more beneficial than a slow moving Flash. Right, this is the last two. Right. So I have Elsa from Frozen, and she can do any martial arts.
Okay. Well, they have Spider-Man, but instead of shooting webs, he shoots silly string. And poo, lots and lots of poo.
His superpower is poo. So Elsa, who has magic ice powers anyway because she's Elsa, and she can also do any form of martial arts, would be highly beneficial in an emergency in case you had to fight the bad guys. But Spider-Man, who shoots silly string and apparently also poo. Does he shoot the poo as well, or does he just poo everywhere?
I don't know, but maybe it would keep people away if he was too smelly.
If it smelled like you're just like psh, psh, psh. Now you're covered in silly string and also here's some poo. That would keep the bad guys away. Well, this is.
I think martial arts is more beneficial.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Right, Elsa, Queen Elsa. Right, now we have to go through them again and make them go head to head again. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but only the car, who is invisible but only for 10 minutes at a time.
And we have the cast of Hairspray, who can only sing their own songs, and his Rapunzel's hair, who can heal anyone who is hurt.
So who would be more beneficial in an emergency situation? The car, who can fly, travel on water, and be invisible for 10 minutes. Or
Rapunzel's magic hair, who can heal anybody.
That's kind of a tough one. What do you guys think?
It depends how injured they are, because if they were just a little bit hurt, they could go in the car and get help. But if they were like really, really, really hurt, then being able to heal anyone in under 10 minutes would be beneficial.
Right, I think the cast of Hairspray who have Rapunzel's magic hair. Yep. Okay. Next two. Okay, we have Elsa, who can do any martial arts.
And mind-reading minions who speak English. Well, I think
the minions would be good because they could
avoid martial arts and fighting because you know what's going to happen.
They can read the bad guys' minds, so they would know what was coming all the time. So then they could tell whoever the boss was. Is there a boss in this? I don't know. The minions would know what was happening because they can read minds. They can foresee the future, like what's going to happen. So then they would be able to put things in place to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, minions.
I think so. Okay. Right, it's Batman, but he turns into a bat when it's dark. He has super strength and can only move in slow-mo.
And Homer Simpson, who can speak any language at super speed.
So who... super strength, but he can only move in slow-mo, and he's a bat half the time. There
she might be scared of it. Homer Simpson, who can speak any language at super speed.
So if he was speaking any language, he could, I suppose, negotiate with bad guys if they were not speaking his language, which is English. But it would be super speed, so they might not understand him. Plus, it's not very helpful. Like he's not healing anybody, or he's no, super strength. I suppose would be good, because then if somebody was hurt, he could lift. Say if somebody had their car fall on top of them, he could lift the car off of them, but it would be very slow because it's in slow-mo.
Yeah.
This is tricky.
I think
Batman the Bat, who's super strong, or Homer speaking any language in super speed. I really don't know. This is quite hard.
I would just leave them both, because then would only be 3.
Right, okay.
So we'll mix them up a bit.
Mix them up. Right, so this time it's the cast of Hairspray, but they can only sing their own songs from the movie, with Rapunzel's magic hair, who can heal anybody.
And I'm still on Homer Simpson, who can speak any language at super speed. So I
still think the cast of Hairspray would win that. Right, okay. Is this the final round? So we have still the cast of Hairspray, and we have the minions who speak English and can mind read.
And Batman, who turns into a bat with super strength but can only move in slow-mo.
So
mind-reading minions.
Mind-reading minions.
No, but could you not do they two and then the winner against?
Oh yes. So mind-reading minions
Or Batman.
Or Batman
who
the Bat,
can-
who's super strong.
But can only move in slow-mo.
I still think mind reading
Yeah.
minions. Right, so last round, the final. Who's going to be victorious? Mind reading minions who speak English, or the cast of hairspray with Rapunzel's magic hair who can heal anybody?
That would be useful, but if you were hurt. But if you had mind reading minions, you might not be hurt because they could tell you what was going to happen to you before it happened.
Yep. And also, the cast of hairspray, they... Hey everyone, sorry, the camera cut out there, we don't know why. But we decided the mind reading minions would be more beneficial. And they are the ultimate superhero. If there's ever an emergency, the minions are going to save the day. And you can play this as well. If you want, you can write your own and decide who will be the ultimate superhero. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.